Well, the World Series is over. The Diamondbacks not champs. It's the Texas Rangers. You can see some of the celebration, family, friends. They got the champagne rolling. We may see them run to the pool if they haven't done so already, but they beat the Diamondbacks 4-1, 5-0 here in Game 5. Jordan Spurgeon, Jordan Hammond. This was a World Series that, first off, no one expected the Diamondbacks to get here. Of course, that's going to be the narrative, but there were some key moments in this series that really allowed it to get away from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, you just go back to Game 1. And, that giving up 2 runs to tie it in the ninth and then a walk-off home run as well. That was a game that the Diamondbacks were really in control. When you think about, these first 3 games or so, they really kicked butt and were in control, but it was just that timely little thing that didn't go their way. And then you just saw at times, whether it was in Game 4 when the wheels really came off, or it was towards the end of Game 5, the air with Alek Thomas, getting some insurance runs for the Rangers. They were just able to take advantage. And the Rangers, 11-0 in the postseason on the road. Home field advantage didn't really matter.
Nope.
I don't know if I've ever seen it to that degree in a postseason before.
No, we haven't seen it to that degree before the game. Torey talked about it. He's blown away at just how successful they are on the road and how it's become a trend the last few years. But again, not to this degree. Speaking of Torey, too, one positive takeaway, I think, for this is maybe this season everyone started understanding here in the Valley how crucial Torey Lovullo is and how great of a manager he is. But on this stage, yes, they lost and they only won 1 game in the World Series, but he became a guy that everyone knows nationally now is one of the best in the business.
And honestly, if I'm the Diamondbacks, I think you start extending him. I think some of these big jobs, whenever they become available, Torey Lovullo's name is going to be at the top of the list because, yes, Mike Hazen and him are a perfect pair. Mike Hazen was very patient with him a couple years ago when that team was really, really bad, and you saw kind of the fruits of that come to light this year and in this postseason run. But with Torey in postgame, it really felt like obviously a lot of raw emotions. He said he just wants to go camping and go suck his thumb and go eat a bunch of bad food, but then he's going to process it and he's going to feel these emotions. And that's one thing he's always talked about, being vulnerable with his team. And I think with a young group like this, they have a chance to really be vulnerable together and then build off of that moving forward. And, we've talked so many times off camera about the core that they now have and what that infield's going to look like and the outfield and you have 2 hogs just right at the beginning with Merrill and Zach Gallen. So nothing's guaranteed, but you have to feel really good about where this franchise is for the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's where things stand. I had a chance one-on-one briefly with Evan Longoria in the clubhouse after the game, and he got here 15 years ago with the Tampa Bay Rays, fell short, and he told me he felt like he was going to get back there again and again and again, and this is his first time back. So he made sure throughout this run that the young guys, Corbin Carroll, Alek Thomas, Gabby Moreno, understood that it's not a guarantee they're going to come back. That's going to be the narrative we see. Well, they're going to be better next year. They're going to come right back. It doesn't work like that in baseball. We've seen the Astros in recent years get to a CS 7 years in a row. That doesn't happen. So, yes, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for them to get back, but it's not a guarantee, and I think this is a team that knows that, and they're going to come back even hungrier next year.
Yeah, and that was another thing that Torey mentioned was the maturity that this team is able to now take from this and build off of it. And a lot of young guys who may not even played or were injured now have that big game experience, just being around it and knowing what that's like and the grind that comes with it. And every single pitch means so much that you're able to take some of these highly talented guys now, get them some experience. But like you said, the Astros are the exception, not the rule in this case. And there's a reason that it's not, not every team is going to be on an upward trajectory every single year, and things are going to happen that are out of their control, or they're just not going to be able to cut it. So I think that has lit a fire for them, and I do feel really good about the core that they have. And Mike Hazen has done a great job not only keeping this team competitive, in previous years, but also rebuilding the farm system. And now you're seeing the Corbin Carrolls, the Brandon Pfaadt now get to the big league level. There's a whole group below them that are ready to go too. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Obviously, they're going to have to battle the big bads in the NL West every single year, and the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Padres and that sort of thing. But they're a contender now. They have expectations now. They're not going to fly under the radar these next couple of years, and I feel like Torey knows that, and he wants to make sure that they're up to task moving forward.
That's a big element. The other element, too, we saw this with the Suns in 2021. The fan base is completely back. Not that the fan base went anywhere, but now they really have a team to rally around. Maybe they were gone for a bit. You know, I remember being in college, you can get tickets for $10. That's going to be less of a thing moving forward. The payroll is going to go up on this team. The selling of tickets is going to go up, merchandise, all of that. So it really means that everything, yes, the wins may not be on an upward trajectory moving forward every single year, but the rest of the organization is going to keep moving up because of what they've done this year.
And you're seeing that with the Suns, like you said, like the ripples that you continue to see just from that one playoff run. And yes, they've been in the playoffs since then, but this is a town, and I grew up here. You've been around for a long time here. They like winners.
Yeah.
And, you know, getting that one little spark, you're going to have a year or two where you can feed off of that. But now, you know, you need kind of a Matt Ishbia to come in and make all these, crazy moves and keep it going. So you do have a little bit of wiggle room now with the fan base. You're going to get that support, the next year or two. Now, how do you make it sustainable here in the National League West?
Last thing, a little personal. This was both of our first World Series coverages. I had a blast this year. I was the in-game host at Salt River Fields and never would have imagined this with the Diamondbacks. It kind of reinvigorated my passion for baseball, hosting spring training and being around it. I hadn't been around it in a while, but for you, like you mentioned, you grew up here. This was the team you grew up watching. Obviously, you've taken some of the fandom out of it and you're doing this, but what was it like for you just to actually see this team do this and all the emotions that come with that?
I mean, everyone always says that Phoenix is a basketball town, but like when the Diamondbacks are good, like there's just a special buzz to this. And I was able to cover the 2017 playoff run, and that's still one of my favorite memories. This is one of my favorite memories now of getting to cover something where just it encapsulates the entire valley. So like you said, I'm a big baseball guy. So the fact that this is a team that's causing a lot of excitement and it doesn't seem like it's going to be a one-hit wonder, like I'm really excited not only for what's going to be on the field, but like what stories we concoct and what weird things happen throughout a baseball season, because there are a lot of weirdos in baseball and a lot of good personalities. So we're excited to tell those stories moving forward.
Well, that's all we've got here inside Chase Field. Final game. The Diamondbacks dropped the World Series to the Texas Rangers. You can see Texas fans hanging out loud and proud. First World Series title in their franchise history. Really is a feel-good story for them, regardless how you feel about the outcome of this World Series. So Jordan Ham, Jordan Spurgeon, you can stay tuned on Sports 360 AZ for the rest of our coverage.